Salutations, YouTube. It's your boy, rookiestacker. Man, I just exchanged emails with Fish, Bionic Fishy Fish. And we talked about circumstances a little bit. I was losing money by saving money. Does that make sense? I didn't think so either. But financial literacy, listen, I was in school from the age of 2, right? Public school from the age of 2 to 18. That's 16 years. I was in college from 18 to 22. That's 20 years. A full 20 years. Actually, it took me an extra year. I did an extra year. So 21 years of school. And you could say I was distracted. You could say that, I was a basketball player, But the fact that I didn't learn about how to properly grow wealth until almost 8 years after, I'd say that was a problem. I turned 30 next week. I feel very old. My body ain't what it used to be. But more so, I feel behind. Not necessarily from a adult standpoint, but from a wealth standpoint. I have a home, I have a wife, I have a daughter, I have a job. Most would be content with that. Those are the most valuable things to me, my daughter and my wife. But still, I feel like I'm letting them down by not knowing more than I know. When I was in school, I grew up in a very low-income neighborhood. When I went to school, I didn't go to school to learn. I went to school to eat. And when I got older, I realized that there were more kids like me who go to school to eat. And there's an issue there, right? How am I supposed to soak up as much knowledge as I can if I'm given very little in terms of resources to make it happen, right? What I adequately need to learn, my daughter's counting. What I adequately need to learn, I'm not getting. Don't eat too fast, okay? Yeah, not too fast. So, yes, fast. So, circumstances, right? Now being the man that I am, trying to learn as much about this as I can. I wish I had taken advantage of moments where I was young with no responsibility, because that would make the burden that I'm feeling, the regret and the the shoulda, coulda, wouldas would have felt much lighter. But now that I am in a place where I am, I have to know that it doesn't matter where you started. It's really about where you finish. And to start from humble beginnings can be a blessing. Because then what happens is you start to treasure everything you get. And it all has meaning, because you remember when you had nothing. So I had a savings account. And my savings account was made up of money that I didn't use for necessity. And that's typically what a savings account is, right? Except the way I was taught to handle money in the 20 years I was in school was you get it, you spend what you need, and you put the rest away. The rest that you put away is a combination of liquid and savings, right? Because you spend what you need in terms of bills and responsibilities. And then you take the rest and you can either spend it on things that you want, like eating out and things like that, or you save it. But where I come from, the savings account was the same as the liquid account. Just whatever you got, if you got to spend it, you spend it. And if you can hold on to it, you try to hold on to it. So I was mismanaging money and making a whole lot of mistakes in it, not backing myself up in any way possible. And what I've learned now is in 2019 or in 2020, I bought my first stock in the stock market. Well, that's great. I had never been able to save as much money as I had saved then. I saved about $10,000 in the span of 4 months. And I thought to myself, wow, this is the first time I've accumulated this much in terms of a stack of money that I'm not using. I don't plan on spending anywhere. And I thought I figured it out. Boom, there it is. This is how you save money. You build wealth. It was much better than the savings account that I had, where I constantly had to transfer out money to get whatever it is I needed to get. And then on top of that, I'm earning a 0.01% interest. So over the course of a year, if I had $1,000 and I didn't touch it, then I would have $1,010. Well, I was pumping $200 into my savings account a month, right? From the very first time I started working in terms of like junior college. I would try to take $200 a month and put it in my savings account. But then obviously life hits and then you have to spend that $200. So I took the same strategy with the stock market, except I would put $200 every week into the stock market. And the only issue that came with that was when the stock market would crash. And I haven't experienced a full stock market crash. In fact, I bought in at the time where the stock market had crashed because of, obviously, the global, Rona. So the majority of the stocks I had, I got for a great price. It was only when I got impatient and started doing calls and puts and options, aimlessly almost, because I was listening to other people and doing what they said and not doing my own due diligence. But then also the stocks themselves go up and down. And so I said, okay, well, that's great that I'm invested and I don't plan on cashing out. I'm going to hold. Let's hodl, right? Well, I also finally understood that I needed to find something that would preserve wealth better. And I'm saying not that I don't have to deal with the volatility, because we all know all of the factors that go into wealth, and your dollar is as volatile as the stock market, as any crypto, because the U.S. Mint can print money I'm sorry, not the U.S. Mint, I don't blame them, they are the makers, but the government can choose to print money whenever they want to. So I could put $1,000 into a savings account in the bank, and with the inflation numbers where they are, I would have less than $1,000 even if I weren't to touch it. Well, I could also put $1,000 into stocks, and I still have a fairly substantial brokerage. I have multiple brokerage accounts, but they're all doing fairly well because, again, I got in at a decent time, but they're not doing as well as they were 2 months ago. So I could put, $10,000 in 4 months into the stock market, and still a month after that 4 months, in the fifth month, could have less than $10,000. I was losing money by saving money. I was doing a little better by investing money. And I think over the course of time, I'll be doing a lot better, continuing to invest in stocks and smart cryptos, collecting dividends, and continuing to build up the companies that I'm building up in my portfolio, like Apple. And in July, during the stock split, it'll be Google and, things like that. But there was never a better preservation of my money starting in November 10th of 2021 to February, 14th, today, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. There was never a better preserver of my money than what's in front of you. I was losing money by saving money in the bank. I was doing better by investing in stocks and cryptos smartly. But I am doing best with physical silver and gold. So for those of you who watch this, and you're watching it because you're trying to figure out if you should do it. For those of you who watch this because you already do it. For those of you who are older than me, for those of you who are younger than me. When I was a kid and I went to school, I didn't go to school to learn. I went to school to eat because we didn't have much of anything. My father always made sure I had what I needed, but it wasn't much. It's my mission to make sure our children don't have to go to school to eat. They can go to school and learn about this. Hopefully, if the schools are doing better, learn about this far before we did. And if they don't, then it's okay. The school system may not ever change. We can teach them. That's my video for today, guys. I was losing money by saving money with banks. I was doing a little better by putting money in the stock market. And over the course of a long period of time, I think I'll be doing a lot better. But I've been doing best by investing in physical silver and gold. Stack responsibly, my friends. Keep climbing. Rookie Stacker. Out.